Hi there! I'm so glad you stopped by. Tell me, have you ever sat in the middle of your living room surrounded by clutter and just had no idea where to even start? I've been there more times than I can count. It's not just about the mess itself. It's that heavy feeling of losing control over your time, your energy, even yourself. The more I tried to clean, the more drained I felt. That's why today I want to share with you a handful of small shifts that help me keep my home tidier, without feeling like I'm constantly fighting the mess. I'm not naturally a super organized person. I used to get overwhelmed and frustrated every single day, but with a few simple habits, even in a busy home with kids, I finally started to breathe easier and spend less time stressing over the house. And the very first tip sounds almost too simple, but it completely changed the way I deal with clutter. Let's be honest, the real clutter isn't the big furniture. It's the little things we just set down for later. That jacket you dropped on the couch, the receipt left on the counter, the mug on the nightstand, none of them take more than 5 seconds to put away, but together they make your home feel like it's falling apart. Here's the shift. When something is already in your hand, don't put it down halfway. Put it away. Hang the jacket on the hook. Toss the receipt straight into recycling. Slide the lipstick back into the drawer instead of leaving it on the sink. It sounds almost silly, but these tiny choices are the difference between a home that stays manageable and one that feels like it constantly needs rescuing. Every "I'll deal with it later" turns into an hour of cleaning you don't have time for. When I began telling myself, don't put it down, put it away, it felt awkward. But within 2 weeks, I noticed my living room wasn't drowning in random things anymore. My house didn't magically clean itself, it just never had the chance to spiral into chaos. And by the way, tomorrow I'll share another simple trick that helps reset your home in under 10 minutes, so stay tuned for that. And once you see how one tiny habit can hold the mess back, you start to ask, what if you didn't have as much stuff to manage in the first place? Be honest with yourself. How much of your cleaning time is really just moving piles of things from one spot to another? More than half the effort isn't scrubbing or wiping, it's folding clothes. No one wears dusting trinkets. No one cares about or stacking papers that no one will ever read. The less you own, the easier it is to keep your home under control. Start small: one drawer, one shelf, one toy basket. Ask yourself, do I actually use this, or am I just keeping it out of habit or guilt? When I did my first big declutter, letting go of over 1,000 items, I thought I'd feel the loss. Instead, I felt lighter. My kitchen counters stayed clear for the first time in years. Laundry didn't pile up as quickly. Even my kids' rooms were easier to tidy, simply because there wasn't as much to scatter. It's not about owning nothing. It's about choosing what actually serves you. And once you experience the relief of less, you realize cleaning stops being endless work and starts to feel manageable. And if clutter makes it hard to even begin, there's a trick that helps you start without feeling crushed by the mess: setting a timer. Have you ever walked into a messy room, felt instantly overwhelmed, and walked right back out? That's what clutter does. It tricks your brain into thinking the job is endless, so you avoid starting at all. Here's the fix: set a timer. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you can spare. Tell yourself, I'm only cleaning until this timer goes off. That clear start and end point quiets the panic and gives your brain permission to just begin. I've done this on nights when the sink was full of dishes and I swore I had no energy left. I set a 10-minute timer, and by the time it beeped, the sink was empty and the counters were wiped. Some nights I stop right there. Other nights, I ride the momentum and keep going, usually until one of my kids yells, "Mom, where's my sock?" and I decide that's the universe telling me to quit. It's not about how long you clean, it's about breaking through the wall that keeps you from starting. A small burst beats procrastination every time. And hey, if the timer goes off and you only managed half the job, congratulations, that's still half more than if you stayed on the couch scrolling. And once you see how 5 minutes can shift a whole room. The next question is, how can you make cleaning itself easier so you don't even hesitate? Let's be real, half the reason we don't clean something is because the tool we need is 2 rooms away. You see crumbs under the table, think I'll sweep later, and by the time you remember, the dog has already eaten them. The trick is simple, put the tool where the mess happens. A broom next to the washer and dryer because lint multiplies like it's on steroids. A small trash can in every bedroom so tissues don't end up hidden under pillows. A hamper in each bathroom so dirty clothes don't accidentally camp out on the floor. I used to keep one vacuum in the basement and swear I'd grab it later. Spoiler, I never did. Now I have a lightweight stick vacuum upstairs, and suddenly the floors stay cleaner. Not because I became a better person, but because I stopped making it hard for myself. Think of it like snack food. The easier it is to reach, the more you'll use it. Except in this case, it's not cookies you're grabbing, it's the dustpan. When cleaning stops feeling like a whole project and starts feeling like a 2-second swipe, you actually do it. And if making things easier changes the game, what about the spaces that stay messy no matter what? That's when it's time to change the layout itself. Let's face it, you can't reprogram your family like a computer. If your partner always drops their bag at the door or your kids shed socks like confetti, no amount of lectures will fix it. You can yell, "Put it away" 100 times and still find a backpack in the middle of the hallway. The solution: stop trying to change the people. Change the layout. Put a shoe rack right where the shoes always end up. Add hooks by the door for bags and coats. If paper piles explode on your kitchen counter, stick a magazine rack there and let the paper land in an actual container. I fought this for years. I thought, if I just teach them the right way, they'll change. Newsflash, they didn't. But once I moved the hamper to the spot where my husband always left his clothes, suddenly he looked like the most organized man alive. Spoiler, he didn't change. The house did. It feels almost like cheating, but really it's just designing your home to work with reality instead of against it. And once you stop fighting habits you can't control, the house starts feeling calmer without you nagging all the time. Now that we've tackled habits and setups, let's talk about a cleaning ingredient so powerful and cheap, it's probably already in your kitchen cabinet: vinegar. If I had to keep only one cleaner in my entire house, it would be vinegar. Not because I'm obsessed with the smell, trust me, I'm not, but because it just works on almost everything. Grease on the stove, fingerprints on the glass door, funky towels that refuse to smell fresh vinegar, handles them all. My everyday mix, half water, half vinegar, in a spray bottle. I use it on kitchen counters, mirrors, even the windows. When laundry smells like a wet dog that went jogging, I pour a cup into the wash and it comes out fresh. No fancy fabric softener needed. And the microwave trick, pure magic. Put a bowl of water with a splash of vinegar, heat it until it steams, and suddenly all that baked-on mess wipes right off. If you hate the vinegar smell, swap it for a lemon half. Same steam power, better scent. Honestly, vinegar is like the cheap best friend who doesn't look glamorous but always shows up when you need her. The only downside, every time I buy the jumbo jug, my kids ask if I'm starting a salad dressing business. Once you realize one ingredient can tackle so many messes, you stop overthinking the cleaners and just get things done. And if vinegar is the workhorse of cleaning, the next step is remembering something we all forget: cleaning the things that actually do the cleaning. Here's the truth: nobody tells you your dishwasher, washing machine, even your microwave can get just as dirty as the stuff they're supposed to clean. And when they're grimy, they don't just smell bad, they stop doing their job properly. The first time I pulled out the detergent drawer from my washing machine, I almost gagged. I had no idea you could even remove it, but once I did, I found a whole science experiment of soap gunk living in there. A quick soak in warm, soapy water and it was like new. Dishwasher, same thing. Pour a cup of vinegar in the top rack and run it empty. It clears out grease and odors you didn't even know were there. The seals around the door, wipe them down and you'll be shocked how gross they get. And the filter at the bottom of a front-load washer, if you haven't cleaned it in months, brace yourself. Mine looked like it was hiding secrets from another lifetime. Put down a towel and screw it, rinse it out, and suddenly your machine smells fresh again. It's funny we expect these appliances to keep everything sparkling, but we forget they need a little TLC too. Think of it like self-care for your house. If you want them to take care of you, you've got to return the favor. And speaking of care, some of the best little helpers in cleaning aren't new gadgets at all. They're the things you are about to throw away. Some of the best cleaning tools aren't bought at the store. They're the ones you almost tossed in the trash. Old toothbrushes, lonely socks missing their partners. They're basically free helpers waiting to shine. I save every old toothbrush. After a quick soak in vinegar, it becomes my secret weapon for grout lines, faucet edges, and those weird corners around the sink that sponges never reach. It's oddly satisfying watching gunk disappear with a brush that once lived in my kid's bathroom. And socks. Total game changer. Slip one on your hand and run it along baseboards, dust sticks like magic. Stretch them over kitchen tongs, and suddenly you've got the perfect blind cleaner. I've even worn them like cleaning mitts to wipe down shelves. Bonus, if someone walks in and sees you dusting with socks on your hands, at least they'll get a good laugh. It feels good too. Instead of buying more disposable wipes or gadgets, you're giving something a second life. Less waste, less cost, and honestly more fun. And speaking of fun, one of my favorite cleaning hacks actually happens right in the shower, because why not clean while you're already in there? Here's a hack that sounds almost too obvious, but once you try it, you'll never go back. Clean the shower while you're actually in the shower. You're already standing there, the water's running, everything's wet. It's the perfect time. I keep a dish wand filled with my favorite mix of water, vinegar, and a drop of dish soap right in the shower. While the conditioner's in my hair, I grab the wand and give the tiles a quick scrub. 2 minutes later, my walls are cleaner and I didn't have to schedule a cleaning day. It works for tubs too. Just bring in a small sponge or cloth. Give the surfaces a wipe before you wash yourself, and the rinse water does half the job for you. Honestly, it feels like cheating, like I tricked my brain into doing chores without realizing it. And yes, I've had moments where one of my kids knocks on the door and I yell, "I can't help you right now, mommy's cleaning the shower," which sounds way more glamorous than it actually is. It's quick, it's easy, and it makes build-up so much less intimidating. And if you still struggle with starting in the first place, don't worry. The next trick is all about using time itself to your advantage. The truth is, most of us don't avoid cleaning because it's impossible. We avoid it because it feels like a hassle. If grabbing a broom means going down 2 flights of stairs, guess what? Those crumbs are staying on the floor. So the secret is, make cleaning so easy you can't not do it. Keep a broom right where lint always piles up near the dryer. Put a trash can in every bedroom so tissues don't mysteriously end up under the bed. Drop a hamper in the bathroom so clothes don't live on the floor pretending they're decor. When I finally put a small trash can in my kids' rooms, it was like magic. Suddenly, candy wrappers stopped appearing in random toy bins, not because they turned into angels overnight, but because the trash can was right there. Problem solved. Think of it this way, we all snack more when chips are sitting on the counter instead of hidden in the pantry. Same logic, except here you're making it easier to grab the broom, not the cookies. Once you start designing your home to work with you, instead of against you. Daily cleaning shifts from being a big job to just little moves you barely notice. And when cleaning feels that easy, the final piece of the puzzle is simple. Stop fighting the mess where it happens and redesign the space so it works better for you. Here's a hard truth: you can't change people, but you can change the space they live in. If your kids always dump their backpacks in the hallway, no amount of speeches will make them carry it upstairs. If your partner consistently leaves shoes by the door, you can nag all day and nothing changes except your blood pressure. The solution: redesign the battlefield. Put a shoe rack exactly where the shoes always land. Add hooks right by the entrance for bags and coats. If paper piles always explode on the kitchen counter, set up a basket or wall file there and let the paper fall where it wants. At least it'll be contained. I learned this the hard way. I begged my husband for years to toss his dirty clothes in the laundry basket, but somehow the floor kept winning. Then, I moved the hamper to the very spot where he always dropped them. Suddenly, he looked like the most cooperative man alive. Spoiler, he didn't change. I just moved the target. It feels like cheating, but it's really just a smart design. Instead of fighting against human nature, you set up the room so habits work for you, not against you. Less nagging, less stress, less resentment. And once you've made your space cooperate, there's one more powerful ingredient that ties everything together, and it's probably already sitting in your kitchen cabinet. Be honest. When was the last time you opened your microwave and it didn't smell like a science experiment? Last week's spaghetti, yesterday's soup, someone's midnight pizza, it all leaves behind a greasy story on the walls. Here's the trick, let steam do the scrubbing. Fill a bowl with water and a splash of vinegar, microwave it until it steams, then wipe. The mess that used to take elbow grease comes off with one swipe. Don't like the vinegar smell, toss in a lemon half. Instead, your microwave gets clean and your kitchen smells like a spa day. I've used this after a bowl of oatmeal exploded like Mount Vesuvius. 2 minutes later, it looked like nothing had ever happened. Honestly, it feels less like cleaning and more like cheating. And once you see steam transform your microwave, you'll want the same magic for laundry, and vinegar makes that happen too. Let's be real, nothing ruins fresh laundry faster than that mystery smell that refuses to leave. You wash, you dry, and somehow your towels still smell like a damp basement. Here's the fix: vinegar. Just pour a small cup into the bleach compartment or straight into the wash cycle. It works as a natural fabric softener, strips out odors, and doesn't leave behind the weird residue most store-bought softeners do. I started doing this when my gym clothes smelled like they'd survived a swamp. One rinse with vinegar, and suddenly they smelled like nothing. Which honestly is the best smell in the world when it comes to workout clothes. And bonus, it makes towels fluffier without that waxy coating softeners leave. The only downside, every time I open the bottle, my kids ask if I'm making pickles. Vinegar keeps laundry simple and fresh. And speaking of simple, the next hack is about remembering the smallest helpers, those everyday habits that prevent the mess before it even starts. One of the easiest ways to keep your home from spiraling is a quick reset before bed. I'm not talking about scrubbing floors at midnight, just 5 minutes to clear the counters, fluff the pillows, and put stray cups in the sink. Think of it as tucking your house in for the night. In the morning, you wake up to a calm space instead of yesterday's chaos. And honestly, starting the day without being greeted by dirty dishes feels like a small miracle. In my house, I even set a soft playlist while I do it. It tricks my brain into thinking it's me time, not just chores. Some nights I skip it, sure, but the nights I do the whole next day feels lighter. It's not about perfection, it's about setting the stage, so tomorrow you have less to carry. So there you have it, 14 small but powerful ways to keep your home lighter, calmer, and easier to manage. If you've been feeling buried under mess and overwhelmed by the daily grind, I hope you take even one of these and make it yours. Little by little, they stack up into a life where your home doesn't constantly fight you, it supports you. And if you want to go deeper, I have another video all about decluttering specific spaces, like the kitchen closets and kids' rooms. It's the perfect next step after this one. If this helped you breathe a little easier, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because you deserve a home that feels like a place to rest, not another job on your list.